Welcome to my office. So I am not sure kind of like what I'm going to start this video with, so I probably put in some little clips of this, like building it and some different things that I filmed with my phone, but I also wanted to do kind of like some clips just for YouTube and to kind of like talk you through what I'm doing here. So this is my new bookshelf. We built these yesterday. So these wood pieces are actually part of what used to be over my great grandma's camper whenever she was still alive. So we've had this wood laying around for quite a while with nothing to do with it. So we stained it. I bought four 4x4x8 posts from Lowe's that cost about $60. And then also bought these big screws that we put in between each one. So these are, I believe, 10.5 inches. And then these up here, the top ones, are 12 inches. So that way I've got a couple different varieties of heights, because as you can see, these are kind of close. So any like really tall books, I want to make sure there was room for those. So we just screwed those into the wall, into like a stud. And then we put liquid nails on top of the wood, put this on it, drilled a hole down, put another screw down into that, and then kind of repeated that all the way up. So that way this is good. We were going to do more of these pieces on the very top, but I didn't feel like we needed it. So now the top shelf is just completely flat for me to be able to put a lot of books up there. So I am kind of working through how I want to organize books. Right now, I'm just kind of like categorizing them. So we have this shelf right here is books that I have read. So anything on this shelf, I've already read it. These are just books that I've read this year that I actually have physical copies of. So I want to make sure that there's still more room, because throughout the year, I'm probably going to be reading more books, so I'll probably eventually like bring it up here or like down to the shelf or something. And then up here, I have anything like Bible related, and this is going to be like nonfiction. So I have like a how to sew book. I'm going to do like any books about like health, that kind of stuff up here as well. And then maybe like memoir stuff like that can also go up top. I'm not really sure yet. And then down at the end, yeah, you can see my furthest ends. So I've got like the little Bridgerton series, just a couple books from that. And then above it, I have books that I started reading but then stopped reading. So, but they're books that I want to finish. Like I just kind of stopped reading because I wasn't really feeling that kind of book at the moment. So those I'm going to stack over there. I have more to add to that too. And I'm thinking I'm going to make this bottom shelf fantasy, because a lot of fantasy books are kind of like darker colors. So I think I'm going to do fantasy. Fantasy may need to come up onto this shelf as well. Then I also plan on doing like a thriller section, mystery section, and then I'm thinking romance will go here. Got literary fiction will probably go on this shelf. And I'm still kind of like trying to figure it all out. I'm thinking like within the fantasy, maybe I'll do like a little kind of like little like witchy romances, that kind of books too. Maybe have a little section. I'm not really sure how I want everything to go yet. I still have quite a few books to bring in here, but I'm just kind of like doing them a small bit at a time. But I want to get everything categorized, because once I have it all in like the categories, I can kind of see exactly how much shelf space I need for it. All of the books are in here except for a couple that I have on a shelf behind my couch. I'll bring those in later, but I don't know if I think they're gonna fit or not, just because I have like piles over here too. But I'm gonna just get started. We're just gonna work in small sections and see where we get. I do have everything that's stacked on this though by category, so that'll make it a little bit easier. Welcome to my finished bookshelves. I know that I didn't record a lot. Honestly, I was just kind of like working a little bit here and there today on getting everything on the shelves. It did not take me near as long as I thought that it would, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to fit all of my books. I do still have some books on a shelf in my living room, but I plan on just keeping those there. I just kind of like changed up which ones are on it, and I like the way it looks in there, and sometimes I film on my couch videos, so I thought still having some books in it would be good. So I've got it mostly organized. There's a little bit of like chaos in here, but at the bottom I just have a couple books down there that couldn't fit everywhere else. I do think that I'm going to plan on along the bottom eventually being a shelf as like this kind of starts to fill up. But we have, like I already told you, this shelf is books that I've read. I added my little Hocus Pocus candle. This is the best smelling candle that I've ever smelled in my life. I'm not a very big candle person, but I got it from this lady who is local and she makes candles. And it is literally, it's so cute. It's like a little cauldron. But it is the best smelling candle that I've ever had. And I don't burn it because I need to buy more before I burn that one because it just, I don't know, I love that candle. So then we move up to the next shelf, and this is my romance shelf. I have all of my Emily Henry books and Allie Hazelwood books over here. Then we have a couple of the Bridgerton books kind of like as little like in between dividers. So we also have my little I love you in sign language statue. Down here we've got like little dice. So the romance does go up onto this shelf. So we have some more romance right here. And then also where I have these books in the middle, I can end up putting it like this in the future and like fitting more books. So I definitely have some more room, which I was not expecting, for more books to fit. And then down here at the end, I have books that I have started. I'm currently reading The Messy Lives of Book People on my Kindle, so that's why it's over here. And then the rest of these are books that I started and haven't finished, not because they weren't good, but just because I was kind of like in the mood for something else. So they'll have like a bookmark in them with where I'm at, and then I plan on eventually picking these back up and finishing them. If we move further down the shelf right here, it's a little bit of a mix, mostly fantasy, but like some other little books mixed in. At first I had these all at the bottom, but then I realized I was going to be able to fit some more books up here, so I added those. This little stack is all book related books. So we have like the Bookshop of Second Chances, the Last Chance Library, Must Love Books. All of these are about like have, you know, book in the title. I love books about books, so I love reading any kind of little books like that. Then we have a little fantasy. This one's like a children's fantasy, but it's still one that I want to read. This is Wildwood. And then I have Harry Potter. I don't have all of the books, but I have a few of them that I want to read. And then over here, I have like homeschooling, parenting books. And then we go up, have all of my Christian books up here. I keep my Bible in the other room, so that kind of stuff isn't in here. And then I have How to Sew Clothes. I have yet to get my sewing machine out and use that book, but I do really love that book. It's really cute, all the stuff in it, all the patterns, everything. I think it's one that I will love once I'm actually using it. We have some nonfiction, memoirs, and then we have literary fiction and some that I feel like are going to read similar to a literary fiction. So they're not all like perfect categories, but they're categories that make sense to me, and I decided that's what matters the most. So we have like literary fiction-ish type of books up here. And then I have a little disco ball. That's actually a Christmas tree topper. I had that on my Christmas tree last Christmas, and I've just used it on my bookshelves ever since. I feel like that it just looks really good, and I don't think it looks like a Christmas tree topper. So, and it's easy to sit down because like the bottom part is flat. So, highly recommend a Christmas tree topper for some decor. Then we move down to this shelf. This, we start with a little bit of fantasy here. And I did have these kind of like flipped out this way with the sprayed edges, but then I kind of decided I liked them more this way. And then the rest of this shelf is all of my like mysteries, thrillers. So I don't read a ton of thrillers, but there's some that I do enjoy. So all of my mysteries, thrillers are over here. I love Geneva Rose. We've got a couple of her books I haven't read yet over here. We have like Sherlock Holmes. We've got books by Holly Jackson over here. So all that goes together. And then the bottom shelf is all of my fantasy. So I actually have less fantasy books than I thought that I did, although I do have some in the living room too. So I've got like Tress of the Emerald Sea, we've got Divine Rivals, we've got just all my different fantasy books down here. Since most fantasy books are like a darker color, I kind of wanted them more towards the bottom and like more colorful books like in the middle part. And I feel like that it did work out that way. And I definitely could see myself changing things up in the future, but for right now, I like this. I plan on getting more little things to put like in between, just like little like knick-knack type of things to add to it. But I think it's looking really good. I am really, really happy with it. And I was going to put my reading chair like over here, but I don't really want to be like blocking a lot of the books. So I may do something different over here. I'm not sure yet. I thought about maybe like adding some little hooks to the wall, just for like hanging little bags and stuff, but I don't mind the idea of like maybe like doing some kind of like little like cozy seat underneath of the mirror and kind of goes in front of the books. I'm not really sure. I will be brainstorming that, but I definitely feel like that this is a great start to my office, but I definitely still have a lot more work to do in here. So thank you for sticking around to see my bookshelves that we built and to kind of see the finished product of them. And if you want to see more book related videos from me, definitely subscribe.